What stupid laws exist because people were assholes? There's a big hill in my town and it was a tradition to slide down it with cardboard, but people kept leaving their cardboard and other trash, so they made it illegal. In Ohio, a policeman is allowed to bite a dog if they think it will calm the dog down. Why the fluff? Would that calm the dog down? You can't have BBQs in my local park because people used to set fire to the tables. Pickles have to be able to bounce in CT since two guys were jerks and sold expired ones. If they don't bounce, they aren't pickles. We have a law where if you have a dog and only have a "Beware of Dog" sign on the front but not on the back door, we would be liable if our dog bites a robber that came through the back. So that's fun. Okay. This blew up. I didn't expect so many people to notice this. Cool. IDK if it helps, but it's a law in the Netherlands. It's a stupid law and should be removed. Chewing gums are banned in Singapore because butts were sticking it everywhere. In the UK Parliament, it's illegal to wear a suit of armor. https en.monsieur.wiki/statute_forbidding_bearing_of_armor. You can't keep an ice cream in your back pocket in some parts of America. In the olden days when everyone rode horses, you couldn't just hop on a horse and ride away. That's stealing. But if the horse followed you home, that's okay. So people used to put ice cream in their back pocket to make the horse follow theme this year. Not exactly a law, but in a prior job, our rule book, that was written by Transport Canada, specifically stated that gloves were not to be put in the microwave. Edit. Because why it keeps coming up. Someone had wet gloves, threw them into dry theme this year, they caught fire, and they had to stop the train and evacuate, holding up rail, freight and passenger traffic for hours until the unit was inspected and could be moved. I've heard that you can't get a fish drunk in Idaho or Ohio. I can't remember which one. I don't know what the story behind this is, but I can't imagine them deciding to make this law for no reason. Having to take your shoes off at airport security. One guy makes a shoe bomb, and we all pay the price. Can't have more than 7 dildos in Texas. Not a law but a school rule. In my county, you can't use your phone on the bus because some kid recorded 2 butts fighting. Don't most laws exist because of one butt or another? In Denmark there is this old law that if you find a child who is not claimed within a certain amount of hours, you can claim the rights to it. Not a law, but let me rant about this situation here in my city in Austria. Some butts dumped their trash to the wrong trash cans. Now they enclosed every trash place in a huge metal cage. Now if I take out the trash, I always have to unlock this huge metal door. First, I have no free hand to mess with keys. Second, it's loud as hell, and third, it's fluffing stupid. Sydney has lockout laws in place where you cannot enter venues selling alcohol, i.e. bars, pubs, clubs, after a certain time because alcohol-related violence just went out of control. I know in New York garbage trucks had to change their entire design, costing millions and many complications. Basically a whole fluffing mess, all because some old lady was walking her dog and simply walking into a moving garbage truck. She didn't have the right of way. Truck did nothing wrong, which killed her dog. She sued and apparently won, blaming the design of the garbage truck. Like WTF, entire lower half. In my town, you're not allowed to make clam chowder with tomato sauce or you'll get arrested. I have no idea why, and you get yelled at if you ask why. Women aren't allowed to buy alcohol in Sri Lanka. More a rule than a law, and #X200B. In cricket you have to throw the ball at the batter overhand, from above your shoulder, and #X200B. The rule was made because there was a match where the last ball, the batter had to hit a boundary to win, like a home run. So the guy throwing it rolled it to him along the ground, making it impossible. In New Orleans it's illegal to wear high heels. The French Quarter is full of grates in the sidewalks for water. A woman wearing high heels caught the heel in one of the grates, tripped, and broke her ankle. She then sued the city. The city then passed an ordinance and made it illegal to wear high heels to prevent future lawsuits. No chewing gum in Singapore, because people used to stick those everywhere, vandalizing lift buttons and bus seats. The made-up law of having to provide anyone water upon request and as when no such law exists. Fuck off, Karen, get your own water. Maybe not what you're thinking of, but mobile phones are now banned in my workplace as policy because my husband called me 7 times during work hours, while I worked closely with my boss about my coffee preferences. Nui bueno. No consumables inside consumables. Oh, how I miss you, sweet, sweet Wonderball. Once upon a time, I heard that in Tennessee, it's illegal to harpoon a whale in a moving vehicle. It is illegal to harpoon a whale in a landlocked state. But doing it in a non-moving vehicle is okay? WHATTHYFUCKETH. It's censored hentai, and the only reason it hasn't changed is because no one wants to be the guy who proposes it be changed, because that would be the perv. Why? You are not allowed to hunt Scots with a bow and arrow in a northern English town on Sunday. The rest of the week it is perfectly legal. Carrying water on airplanes, because some stupid terrorist. In Alaska it is considered an offense to push a moose out of an airplane. Can stomp on money in Taiwan. I'm not sure of the country's name, but once I got almost arrested for doing that. I didn't even notice that a few bucks falled out of my pockets and I accidentally stepped on it. A lot of them, if you think about it. We wouldn't need hate crime laws if there were no hate crimes. We wouldn't need harassment laws if people didn't harass. No rape laws if there was no rape, etc. Sodomy is illegal, in general, in Idaho, Utah, Michigan, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. In these states, sodomy is only illegal for homosexuals. Montana, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Literally a stupid law about butts. You can't reincarnate without the government's permission in China. This was put in place to piss off Tibet. Slavery. I heard it's illegal to garden in New Zealand. Saw some gangster granny growing avocados in the backyard and she masked her face. Rather sad, actually. Using that sidewalk chalk is illegal. Some people started complaining it was toxic to the environment. Now the younger kids will never get the pleasure to make huge artworks outside. I don't know if this was exercised recently, but there's a law in India where a person can be jailed for 3 months for singing, uttering obscenities in public. Even acting is included, and since obscenity isn't clearly defined, it could be interpreted in any way by the presiding judge. So technically, just saying fluff out loud in a public place could get you jailed for 3 months. My township in O has an ordinance banning trash bags at the curb if they're filled with garbage. They have to be in a trash can or you get a fine for violating the ordinance and for littering. How this law came about. You used to be able to put loose trash bags out an hour before pickup. Pickup from my neighborhood is usually 5 or 6 am. Some people felt that it was way too early to get up and would put their bags on the curb the night before. They didn't want to buy the approved trash bin from the township. Free replacement if you lost it, until some butts claimed they lost it but gave it to a friend and got a new one. Now you rent your trash bin from the township if you didn't own one before the rule went into effect. If you owned one before the rule went into effect, you either have to prove that the can is broken or missing. If you can't, you now have to rent from the township. Problem with putting the trash bags out the night before is the local wildlife, mainly the raccoon. A large chunk of the township surrounds the largest county park and wildlife area. They would shred those trash bags and scatter the trash all over the place, since people couldn't follow the rules about when loose trash bags could be taken down to the curb, and refused to clean up the mess after the raccoons were done. The township banned trash bags. The most vocal ones argued that it was no longer their trash once they placed it at the curb and that the garbage men should be required to clean up the mess that resulted from the homeowners' laziness.